Gamer Girl Shiroi, Rule 9I. Shiroi took one last look at her setup before hopping into her computer chair. It honestly wasn't the most comfortable chair since it had been built for humans and not ponies, but like many things in her game room, or office since here was where she earned her bits, it had been given to her. All she had to do in return was sit in it and occasionally say nice things about it on stream. She powered up all of her peripherals, checked the focus and white balance on her webcam, then verified that her capture card was working properly. It was. After a sip of tea from her Yeti cup, which had also been a gift, she powered up her mic, did a quick sound check, and tweeted and Instagrammed her followers as a friendly reminder that she was about to go live. After one more sip of her tea, she started her stream.
Good morning, every pony and everyone.
Unsurprisingly, most of her early followers had been ponies.
I hope you're all having a good day wherever you are. I'm Shiroi, and today we're going to be finishing Grand Poo World.
She paused for a second.
I hope.
There was always a moment at the beginning of her stream where she worried that she was talking into the void, and then the messages started appearing on her feed. Person Jennifer.
Welcome, Shiroi.
Chat mod hairdryer in the bath. Permission to come aboard, Captain? : P. Cherry Vine.
Hi, Shiroi. You're so inspirational.
Rosette.
Veel Hiluch.
Dr. Joe 999. You going to be Bowser? Soul Silver 783. I got popcorn for this stream. Not Neville Longbottom.
Same.
Freckles Sucks.
This is gonna be awesome.
As the game booted up, she took the time to personally welcome a few of her followers as they showed up. Both the ones that she knew and a few unfamiliar usernames who appeared on her stream. And then, she lifted up her controller and focused on the television, bringing the people the content they so desired. The Throne Room. Just the name alone gave her a thrill of anticipation, and instead of scanning the comments as the level loaded, she kept her focus on the screen. A small chamber with spikes and 2 shells, and a speaker box which she jumped into. You will never win.
We'll see about that,
she told her viewers. An hour later, and the prophecy was proving to be true. The double shell jump was only the beginning. There were saws to spin jump on and spikes to avoid, and moving floors and a piece which she had to jump on in the air. Kaizo blocks were peppered in the most inconvenient spots, the disco shell didn't like to behave, and the death counter was ratcheting up alarmingly. Not that the number of deaths really mattered. Unlike Nintendo's Mario games, she could die as often as she wanted to, without the game ending. So, of course, it had a death counter as a constant reminder. Dan Solo. Almost had it that time. Stugabush. Are you getting worse? Starly Star.
Yakundet.
Dr. Joe 999. Don't jump on the spikes.
Hovertoma.
Shiroi slammed her hoof onto the table as the disco shell dodged her yet again.
I'll get it. Oh, thanks for the bits, Chevrolet Smith 56.
A dozen more lives gone, then a dozen more, and then suddenly she was at the end of the spike maze, frantically pushing up on the controller to enter the door before her star power wore off. The door led to a mid-level checkpoint, which she grabbed before it got away from her or something else came to wreck her, and then Shiroi had a blessed moment of relaxation. She leaned back in her chair, not worrying about the time counter, which was overly generous since the level had plenty of ways to kill her without timing out, and let the flood of congratulations wash over her. Besides the checkpoint, the room had a speaker box, large doors that surely led to Bowser, and a portrait of Barbarian staring down like a malevolent god. The last speaker box had told her that she'd never win, and she was tempted to ignore this one, but there was a slight chance it could offer useful advice. Or kill her, but she'd already gotten a checkpoint and was willing to risk it. Well done, it said. Your efforts have brought you here, the summit of this game. I wish you luck. You'll need it. For just a moment, when she opened the door, she was led into a false sense of security. It looked like the exact same Bowser battle as Mario World, the black background, the thunderclap, the castle parapet, and Bowser coming down on a clown car. She had a moment to wonder what was going to make this fight so difficult, what she'd have to look out for, if Bowser could still be defeated by tossing Mecha Koopas at him. And then, he started bouncing like a maniac, and she lasted long enough to discover that he also tossed out hammers willy-nilly. And then, she was dead.
I gotta be faster,
she told her viewers, and tried again. And again. And again. The longer the fight went on, the worse it got. Phase 1 ended with a rainfire, yet another thing to dodge. Once she got that figured out, a moment of hope, Princess Peach, in which the original fight, threw a mushroom. In this fight, she threw hammers.
Stomach, whose side are you on?
Shiroi glanced over at her Discord.
Should I get good? Yeah, thanks for the advice, Ryu. I'll try it.
Her 1500 in-game death brought a flurry of comments, and a surprisingly generous donation of 1500 bits in commemoration. She'd long since gotten past Princess Peach's traitorous hammer throws, and gotten halfway decent at dodging balls. If it wasn't for the hammers that came with the balls.
Tallrascha.
A ball pinned her at the edge of the screen, and she saw the hammer coming, but could do nothing to avoid it. If you can dodge a hammer, you can dodge a ball, Xpatches000X suggested.
Not doing so good at the hammer dodging,
she admitted, and set down her controller long enough to take a sip from her Yeti cup. She thought she was getting better at the fight, but who knew how many phases it had? How many times did Bowser have to get hit before he'd die? And even then, would that be the end? She could ask chat. She was hardly the first to play the game. It had been out for years. Some of them would know. Some of them had played it. Some of them had beaten it. Cherry Vine.
Are you gonna beat him before 2K deaths?
Big Buffet Boy 85. Pooh did it in like 1500. The Earth's Core. I've got faith. ISO 9001.
You should take a break.
Person Jennifer.
Don't throw your controller.
Cheese Breeze.
That was bad RNG.
Rosette.
Vilhulu.
Big Buffet Boy 85. Jump on the left side of the screen. There's a dev block with a star. Hot Grill 420. It's past my bedtime, but I can't stop. Princess Sapphire.
There's no dev block.
It was past her stopping time, and almost past her bedtime, but she was on a mission, and Shiroi wasn't going to stop until she defeated Bowser or collapsed on her controller. Other gamers sometimes had all-night streams, and she could do that too if she had to. She pulled all-night cramming sessions before, and this was kinda the same. Bouncing clown car, hammers, fires, and balls, Trader Peach, and her hammers, stomp on a Mecha Koopa, dodge a hammer or two, toss it, a moment's reprieve during the hit animation, and then back to darting around the screen.
It's just a game.
But it felt personal, and she was beyond getting upset each time she died. She wanted to learn, and she wanted to win, for herself and for her fans. And she would, even if the game had told her that she wouldn't.
Oh, come on! That was a hitbox error! I was clear!
She dropped the controller on her table, tried a sip of the last dregs of tea in her Yeti cup, and came up dry. It was time to either brew more or suck on the tea bag. Shiroi knew her kitchen well enough to do it remotely without making a mess, but she was focused on the game and it wasn't worth the bother. She should have logged off hours ago, but she was close to winning. She was sure she was close. It was just another hit. Bowser held his arms up and rocked in his chair, and she was already wondering what was next. This was the most hits that she'd gotten on him so far, but of the lives spent fighting him already had numbed her to the possibility of actually winning. And then the smoke puffs came out of it, and then the clown car tipped over. Princess Peach descended to the castle parapet. For a moment, cautious optimism. Who knew if Peach was about to throw more hammers, but no. She kissed Mario, and then the text started appearing on the screen. Mario's adventure is over.
Yes! Yes, yes, yes!
Shiroi jumped up in her chair. Congratulatory messages were already flooding in, and it was reasonable to assume at least some of them had seen Grand Poo World played to completion before, so she was probably really done. But just the same, she planted her forehooves on the desk and leaned in close to the monitor, only relaxing and slumping back into her seat as the credits began. Besides the congratulations, besides the few trolls informing her that a different streamer had beaten the game much quicker, a second conversation had begun. Big Buffet Boy 85. Did you see that? Yurai's got her nipples pierced. Key Puncher 406.
Was that a nip slip? Who knows pony anatomy?
Young Gao Zhao. If anything, that was a belly button piercing. Soul Silver 783.
Too far back.
Maximilian Pegasus. Nah, there were two. Not Neville Longbottom.
Anybody take a screenshot to toss up on Discord?
Ants. For research? Tampax Pop-Tart.
What's up with you perverts?
Game and Grave. Shut up, fag. Freckles sucks.
I got one, hold on.
Be my Valentine.
Your mom's a fag.
Chat moderator hairdryer in the bath.
Quit or I'll start banning people.
Completely unaware of the unfolding scandal, Shiroi made a quick apology for the long stream, thanked her followers for watching, her new subscribers for subscribing, and thanked those who had donated for the bits. She was still quite amused that Twitch called internet money bits, even if she had to constantly remind herself that they were worth far less than actual equestrian bits. Shutting down her equipment didn't take long, and then she went off to the bathroom to freshen up. She'd been planning on cooking dinner, but it was far too late for that, so she used her smartphone to order a pizza instead. The next morning, she woke up to the usual slew of notifications across her various social media platforms, along with several text messages from Dusty Swift, a professional Pegasus gamer from South Korea. Dusty Swift had come over on a student visa originally and ultimately gained enough of a following that EA had sponsored her to come back and pick up where she'd left off. She had been the one to encourage Shiroi to try streaming, had quite literally taken the unicorn under her wing. Chat conversation with Dusty, 1:05 AM.
Are you okay? I'm hearing rumors something happened on your stream. If you need to, you can call me anytime. Has Twitch talked to you? It shows that you're banned. What happened? I know some people, we can work it out.
2:44 AM.
Talked to a friend, and he said TOS violations, and you should at least get an automated message.
2:46 AM.
I'm gonna kick things up the chain, but give me a call or text as soon as you can. I'm pushing clouds in the dark right now.
End of conversation. Shiroi frowned.
Did something happen while I was sleeping?
She was too tired to deal with it. Not before her morning coffee, at least. Although Dusty Swift deserved a reply. She lit her horn and tapped out a quick message, then turned back to her coffee maker. Her Keurig did nearly all the work itself. All she had to do was put in the little coffee pod in the water. While she waited, she opened her Gmail and started scrolling through new messages, and sure enough, there was one from Twitch. Your account has been temporarily suspended for violations of the Twitch Terms of Service. The first part of the message was typical corporate boilerplate, a formal letter, and she skimmed through it.
Dear Miss Shiroi, we regret to inform you.
Further down in the letter was the actual violation. Section 9.I. Obscenity and pornography.
Pornography?
Shiroi wasn't exactly sure what constituted pornography, but she's sure she hadn't done it, and Dusty Swift had some discussions about the differences between human taboos and pony taboos, and of course, a quick guide was also available back in Equestria in a handy book titled So You Want to Go to Earth. She had a copy and still occasionally used it for reference. She thought back to last night. Some of the events on her stream were blurry, she'd played for too long and couldn't come up with anything she'd done that would have broken the terms of service. Sure, she'd sworn a few times, both in English and Equestrian, but other streamers did that. That wasn't worthy of a ban. There was an email address that she could reply to, although without any more specifics thus far, the best she could think of was to reply,
No, I didn't.
She had a little brother. She knew that that was a discussion that could go on forever and never get anywhere, so she read through the email one more time before typing a text message to Dusty Swift. Conversation with Dusty, 9:20 AM. Shiroi.
They said I violated Rule 9.I, but I don't know how. They're not specific in the email.
Dusty.
They probably got a complaint and are reviewing it right now. You didn't turn tails to the camera, did you?
Shiroi.
No, I know not to do that. You told me it was against the rules, remember?
Dusty.
There isn't anything like a picture on the wall or something that might offend? A mirror? Or something that somebody put in chat?
Shiroi.
Lots of people put things in chat and I was busy playing anyways. Besides, wouldn't that be their fault if they did? I can't be blamed for something somebody else said.
9:29 AM. Dusty.
Maybe. Let me check with my guy. I'll get back with you. You should reply to their email and see if you can get any more details. They ought to tell you, and they'll give you a way to talk to a moderator and work through it.
Shiroi.
I'll do that, thanks.
Dusty.
Maybe rewatch your stream and see if you can figure out what got them upset, especially if they can give you a timestamp.
Shiroi.
Alright, I'll call you later after I've had breakfast and figure out what's going on.
Dusty.
I look forward to it. Annyeong.
Dusty.
Farvel.
End of conversation.
I guess my stream tonight won't be happening.
That was kind of a blessing, because she could take the night off, and none of her followers could blame her for it. Maybe she could go and see a movie, or even better, just walk around town. She hadn't done that in a while. She'd almost forgotten how relaxing it could be. Naturally, she'd have to warn her followers on Twitter and Instagram, and after a moment's consideration, she decided not to be overly specific regarding the reason. After all, she didn't exactly know herself. I'm gonna bet Shiroi has a boyfriend or girlfriend that she keeps off-stream. Because, that leaves room for tier 3 subs, simp into her and shit like that. Great fucking money. Now, let's get on to our donators that are thankfully not like the stereotypical tier 3 subs. Top donators, Dash of Evergreen, Peter Coulthard, J Tinman, and Darkside. Dospo, RuneScythe9852, CourierCruz CI, Delta Omega, Ryanny Dragonwolf, Secret Moon, Tallrascha, The Toilet Snake, Soul Dragon, Cerberus, Starlight Glimmer, Squiddy Boy, David D. Sanchez, Gaggy, Trey, Shadow Drake, Joe Piercy, Alex F., Rainbow Dash, Teal K. Anderson, TV Killer, and John Becker. Thank you very much for watching this video, and live life to the fullest.